Hey everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. And today's video I've wanted to do for a while. Since I've been using the Omnipod for about 3 months, I kind of wanted to share the 6 main reasons why me and probably many other people decided to opt for the route of Omnipod or insulin management system for our blood sugar regulation. So first of all, for those of you that do not know what the Omnipod is, it is basically a patch pump in which there's a little device called a pod that is attached to your body. A cannula is then inserted underneath your skin that can stay on for up to 72 hours with an 8-hour grace period if you cannot change your pod when it expires at 72 hours. So it'll technically run for 80 hours, so as long as you have insulin in the pod. And it is controlled by a basic little remote controlled device called the PDM. This is where we bolus from. This is where we change our basal rates, have our basals programmed and delivered. This is where we change our pod out. This is basically the brains of our pump. Now Omnipod now has two different lines of pods. They have the Omnipod Aeros, which are the original ones that many of you are still on, with the old PDM with a freestyle meter in it. And then they also just released in April the Omnipod Dash, which is a sleeker touchscreen type PDM that communicates with the pods. They have blue cannula caps instead of clear, and this communicates via Bluetooth to the actual Omnipods. And the hope for Omnipod within the next year to a year and a half is to have a closed loop system in which the basal rates will be adjusted based upon what your body is experiencing in the moment. So basically you're getting closer and closer to an artificial pancreas, in which the only thing you have to really worry about is putting your carbohydrate count in and having your carb ratio set, and the pump automatically adjusts your basal rate based upon what's happening. If it's detecting a drastic drop, it'll suspend your insulin, and if it's detecting a rising high, it'll increase your background insulin to try to keep that high from going dangerously high. Right now I have to do that manually myself. If I think I'm going to have a severe low blood sugar or I'm going to go out and be active, I might suspend my insulin or do a temp basal decrease. Whereas if I think I'm going to be sitting higher for a while, or I might be stressed, or foods like rice or yogurt or granola bars, when I eat them, I need a temp basal in addition to a bolus to kind of cover them. I have a temp basal to kind of prevent those high blood sugars or keep them high blood sugars from being too dangerous. So now I'll get into explaining the real 6 reasons why I chose using Omnipod. The first one is the simplicity. It's such a simple thing to use. It's so simple to deactivate and reactivate a new pod. It is simple to put one on. The adhesive sticks well. I absolutely love it. And I also really love that the Omnipod, when you do fill it with insulin, it self-primes and it self-inserts. Basically what that means is when I put the insulin in, I still make sure I get a lot of the bubbles out. I don't make it too hard on the pods. But all that clicking you're hearing, if you are an Omnipod user, that is all the pod is doing, is priming the insulin and getting it ready, making sure that the pod is safe to put on your body, that it's not going to have any malfunctions. You get the point. And the insertion is super simple. Once it gets through the pod priming process, and you attach it to your infusion set or your set where you're going to put your pod, you hit a button, and within about 5 to 7 clicks, there's a needle that will be driven into your body and retract out, kind of like when you have a lancing device, it goes in and out. And when it goes in, it leaves the plastic tube, retracts out, and the tube sits in your body, and then it starts delivering you the insulin that you need. I absolutely love the simplicity. There's no manual priming, there's no manual insertion, which you would have to do on other pumps. And there's only 2 pieces you need. You need the pod and the PDM. If you do not have the PDM with you, you will still get your basal rate. However, you cannot, that's the only downfall with a pump like this, is that because you're not attached to it via tubing, if you don't have it with you, you can't bolus with it. So make sure you have backup supplies with you at all times. The second reason is it has no tubes, and this was absolutely a huge thing for me. I'm a tosser and turner at night. I'm extremely active. I tend to run into things when I'm not supposed to. I'm going into dental hygiene school, and we're going to be dealing with enough tubes and wires and God knows what. And the last thing I need is my insulin pump getting hooked around all these different dental equipment, materials, or anything around in my house or in my that I might get exposed to in my life. I'm not one for tubing anyway. I felt like it was going to be too noticeable, or I'd roll on the tubing or rip it out, and To me, like, an Omnipod's great because I banged it against walls and it hasn't ripped off. The only way you do rip an Omnipod off is if you have the site, say this was your leg and you had it like this, you need to have enough force on the vertical end to literally rip it off, or on the horizontal end. But it's more likely to break from the vertical end, so if you something dropped on it, then it would break off. But your simple little bumps and bumps in the road are not going to rip it out, unlike, I think, tube pumps. If you get it hooked on a door, or you lay on it for too long, or you turn just the wrong way, you could rip your site out. The third reason, which was huge for me too, is it's waterproof. To me, I don't want to disconnect to go into a shower if I don't need to. Like Dexcom, you don't have to disconnect from that. It is waterproof. I love too that I love to swim and I don't have to worry about disconnecting and going high from not getting insulin. Now, some of you may have found a route around this even when you're in a shower for a longer period of time without insulin being pumped into your body. Maybe you take a bolus on your pump and then go into the shower. Or you disconnect when your blood sugar's kind of lower, then take a shower to kind of force the blood sugar to come up. Or you may put, like I said, you may just take the high blood sugar and correct it after. For me personally, I didn't want to have to disconnect from a pump also just to correct, high blood sugar. And if I wanted to swim, I don't have to worry about disconnecting, and then you worry about the insulin getting, funny and stuff. So, and I absolutely love that there's no issues with waterproofing with the Omnipod. I love that you don't have to worry about disconnecting and reconnecting in any way, shape, or form. Number 4 is it's reasonably priced and decent insurance coverage. For the DASH system, I know they're trying to transfer it over to pharmacy benefits, but for me right now, it's still under DME. They're trying to work with other insurance companies to make it more of a pharmacy benefit so that it cuts down on the cost. And they're trying to make it so that the PDM, I believe under my billing, at least under my health insurance, the PDM was free or reduced to like $1 as long as you purchase pods, which is fine to me. Omnipod will also go on a payment plan option with you if you cannot afford to pay your lump sum all off in once, and I get it. I'm in that situation right now. It's not a big deal to me. They will work with you, and my insurance coverage was decent for the Omnipod, so much so that they approved the Omnipod Dash like that. As a matter of fact, if you guys do not know, I have a subsidiary of United Healthcare for insurance, and United Healthcare is one of the biggest insurance that supports Omnipod. They are Omnipod and Medtronic. That's their preferred method or their preferred pump choice. So I got lucky that the pump I really, really wanted was covered by my insurance. Now, not saying if I really wanted a Tandem pump that I couldn't want to get one. And to me, like, money is not worth risking your health. If I felt the Tandem pump would have suited me well, or better for my lifestyle, I would have gladly have paid more out of pocket. But I just got lucky in that aspect. And I'm very lucky to be with a company, too, that no matter how much you get charged, they will make a payment plan for you, even if your insurance doesn't cover it as well or doesn't cover it at all. They're amazing, and it's not going to be as expensive because you only have to buy, theoretically speaking, the PDM's a one-time purchase. You only have to buy one item, and that's the pod itself. Whereas with a tube pump, you have to buy tubing, you have to buy insets, and you have to buy reservoirs or cartridges in addition to paying for your pump. So to me, I think it cuts down on a lot of the costs and a lot of waste, at least with the Omnipod. It's not wasteful as in other insulin pumps where you're throwing away all these extra things. So I absolutely love that they have reasonable coverage for me. Number 5 is I heard a lot of good things about their amazing support and their customer service. And this is nothing but true. I've had failed pods. I've had my PDM fail on me within the first week or 2 or 3 weeks after using Omnipod, and they replaced it, no hassles. They replaced pods that have failed on me. They even replaced a pod for me that I accidentally deployed that wasn't on my body because I was in a stressful situation in that moment, and I explained everything, and I said, I understand if you can't replace this because this is something on my fault. This is nothing that actually happened to the pod itself. There was no malfunction in the computer. She goes, oh, because you're new to the system and we don't do this a lot, every year we can allow you a courtesy pod, and she sent it right to me, and I thought that was amazing. And they're nothing but friendly there, and they're so helpful, and I love that they try to explain like some of the error codes to me too. If you see like a 00000, like all zeros means it's like a static failure. If you see a computer code and then like a 6, or was it 600 or something? I can't remember. I have them written down that it's a system failure. It's nothing you did. There's ones for occlusion failures. There's ones for PDM errors, system errors. There's all these different codes that code for something that malfunctioned in the pump itself. And they're so friendly and so willing to explain that and so willing to give you the product that you love and help you pay for it and help you be healthier and happier you. And I'm so happy to be working with a company that truly cares about their customers. I have nothing horrible to say about Omnipod customer service. I love that they're based out of the United States. Actually, as a matter of fact, they're out in Massachusetts. And their customer service is available 24/7. So if your pod fails at you at 2 a.m. in the morning, you can call them and get a replacement. Number 6, kind of a silly reason, but you can decorate them. I am an art fanatic. For those of you that do not know, I was in the National Art Honor Society during my years in high school. I'm no Pablo Picasso, but I got decent enough at art that I got in this honor society, and I absolutely loved it, and I still love creating art. I haven't done as much of it now that I've been out of high school, but I need to start getting back into that because to me it actually calms me down. It gets me in a happy place. It gets me away from reality when I feel like reality is just too much. But you can decorate them, and I'll show you the one that I decorated on my belly right now. This one gets changed out tonight, but you see I made a ladybug. You can decorate these with paint. I use nail polish also. You can put temporary tattoos and stickers, and then you put a clear coat over it, and it's all set and good. Just be sure when you do paint them, if you do paint over the little mark where it shows that the cannula goes in, you will have to manually check the cannula to make sure it goes in. So take a hand mirror, look in the window, and make sure you can see the little blue tube sticking through and that you know it went in your body. So I love decorating them. I think there's fun. I did do a video about decorating Omnipods. It will be in my playlist titled Omnipod. And this will also be titled in my Omnipod playlist. So you can go back and check out any of the videos that I made about Omnipod. I've also made tons of other videos and playlists, so you can check those out too if you want to hear more about me with my experience with the Dexcom G6. I've talked about endo appointments. I did a couple day in the lives. I did Q&As. I did a couple things on food and nutrition, a couple things in hygiene school, and I'll be doing that more as we get through it here. I will be starting my first semester officially next week, so I'm really, really excited. Nerve-wracking, but it's so excited, and by the end of September we will be in each other's mouths, which is going to be absolutely crazy to me that we get to start working on each other and then we get to progress to real people. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. I post videos every single week about diabetes plus more. And until tomorrow for the announcement giveaway winner, which will be tomorrow's video, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. And do remember the giveaway closes at 5:30 Central Standard Time. So keep that in mind. If you want to enter, you still have probably about one more day to do so here. Go ahead and enter on my YouTube here and on my Instagram. My Instagram is at Maddie J. Neal, if you do not know that. I'm giving away one vial safe here and one vial safe on Instagram. So go check that out if you'd like. And I will see you tomorrow for the winner of the giveaway. Good luck to all who entered, and I will be checking to make sure you followed all the rules. Although I'm not seeing any problems right now with people who would be following the rules. So anyways, see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.